Welcome to the Garage Woodworks Video Podcast.
My 8-year-old is really into these Beyblades, which is essentially a top with a launcher, so I thought I'd try to make one out of wood. I think I'm going to make the body of the top and the launcher out of alternating pieces of cherry and walnut. I thought that might give the top a neat little effect as it's spinning around with the different colored woods. Okay, what I've done to this point so far is I've edge jointed both the walnut center strip and one of the cherry side pieces, and I've glued them together. And once this glue dries, I'll go ahead and I'll come back and I'll cut this center walnut strip down to about 1/8 of an inch wide. I'll edge joint it again, and I'll glue on the opposite cherry side. The reason why I glued on a thick piece of walnut and then cut it to thickness after was that it's much safer to edge joint this piece now than have to worry about edge jointing an 1/8 inch thick piece of material. Now that my cherry walnut sandwich is glued up, it's time to cut out the body of the top. Now, because I have 2 kids, I need to make 2 of these suckers, so I'm going to batch cut out 2 of these at a time. I went ahead and traced out a 2.5 inch diameter circle with a compass, and I'm going to go ahead and rough this out on the bandsaw and finish it out on the belt sander. Ideally, I would like to use a lathe for this job if I could, but unfortunately I don't own one. So I'm going to do the best I can. I found out that if I took a block of wood and put a nail on the end of it and cut off the head of the nail, I can then take my circle blank, place it on top of the nail with a hole drilled in the blank, and then by using my miter gauge as a stop block, I can inch the circle into the sandpaper and then slowly spin the blank and get closer to a perfect circle. In order to make the body of the top easier to handle, I'm going to round over both edges on both faces with a 1/4 inch radius round over bit at the router table. And in order to make that operation safer at the router table, I'm going to use the dowel as a handle as I route. There we go, not too bad. The next thing we need to do is drill a hole all the way through the body of the handle that will receive the dowel from the top. And we'll do that at the drill press. In order to make the hole for the twine, I'm going to use a Forstner bit at the drill press. And because we need to go all the way through the piece, go ahead and put a sacrificial piece of wood underneath so you don't have any blowout. Okay, the next thing I did was trace out a design onto the launcher so that a little kid could easily handle this thing as he's playing with it. And we'll cut that out of the bandsaw. The next thing I'm going to do is clean up those cuts we just made at the bandsaw at the spindle sander. Okay, so after our coat of finish, these tops are finally finished. So let's see how well these things work. Okay, so there you go, a couple tops in only a few short hours, and I'm actually pretty impressed at how well these things worked. Not too bad. So go make yourself a top. Thanks for watching.